you can make it so that it won't happen again. That nobody has to live this way. That every life is worth something. And walks with a dad and a 3-year-old holding hands. Make that come back, Dad. And go on those walks with Judith. She'll remember them. I love you, Carl.
Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys.
Hey, guys. Today we're here to review episode 15 of The Walking Dead, Worth.
Worth. What is something worth? Is basically the theme of this entire episode, which was great.
Yeah, I thought it was
it.
really good. There were
Really
a couple
good.
things that were like, nah, what does this serve to the overall arc of the season? But yeah, I mean, it was another solid episode and really building up to a really nice, awesome, amazing, suspenseful finale.
Should be.
Yeah.
If not, people are going to be mad.
People are always mad.
Exactly.
So we open up the episode with Rick reading the letter, Carl's letter. It was a very sad moment.
Very sad. I was glad that they did it that way. We got the voiceover from Chandler Riggs.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Which was really good. And the overall theme of the letter was great. I mean, I loved how he kind of mentioned about, remembering the old life and remembering, going to sleepovers and pizza parties. And the biggest thing of what he talked about was that he remembered, going to his grandparents, walking with his dad, holding his hand and feeling safe and feeling like it was a huge, big deal for that to happen. And, kind of mentioning to Rick, do these walks with Judith. She's going to remember them. But, I thought it was really great.
Yeah, it was a really well thought out letter. And we actually got to listen to the whole letter based upon the narrative from Carl. So that was really nice. And another key element of that letter was that he knows that the war with Negan is not going to stop. And he knows that Negan's men will probably not give up. But he also says that his dad has to find a way. He wants his dad to be happy again. Even if it's for 5 minutes, he wants him to go back to that old life and be, the father that he knew he was. And he wants Rick to bring that world back. That world where they can make, pizza or pasta, or I forgot what food that he referenced, but
right.
That they can bring that life back, and he knows that his dad can do that, and he wants his dad to do that. But he says you need people to do that.
He references Negan again. Saying there has to be peace. There's people in the sanctuary, families, kids. You don't want to kill all of them. You have to do something, and he's just basically imploring his father to just look. There has to be an end game. He kind of says, I wish I would have killed Negan. Maybe everything would have stopped. Everything would have been fine, but he didn't, of course.
But I think he also said that there would have been maybe another person to take Negan's place.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, the overall, I thought it was great. And we might as well mention it now, because we're going to be jumping back and forth here. So, spoiler alert if you haven't watched the episode. But the reaction that another reaction that we got was also when because we at the end of that scene, Michonne is seen wanting to read Negan's letter, and what she actually does is that she actually walkies Negan and reads his entire letter to Negan, and his reaction I thought was really great until the end of it, where he really reacted. But as he's listening to Michonne and listening to Carl's true words, it was really great. Carl kind of mentioned the same way. I was trying to help somebody. I got bit. Saying to Negan again, is this really what you want it to be? It's like, this isn't really what you wanted. I know it isn't.
One key thing in there, he says to Negan that he thinks that Negan has been this person, but isn't really this person, like
Right.
isn't really this ruthless character, and that he's just playing this part. And since he's played this part for so long, he feels like he has to continue
Right.
to be this person
Yeah.
that he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really amazing, and to see Negan taking that in until the final reaction. I think really, so let's just go right into it. Negan listens to the entire letter, but then proceeds to tell Michonne that he is not going to let up, that he's going to wipe out everyone. He's not gonna give. There is no more deal.
Mm-hmm.
That he's going to kill everyone, and there's no more talking on the walkie-talkie. And
Right.
he drops it and crushes it.
Yeah, and just before that, he mentions that because Carl mentions in his letter about starting over, and Negan emphasizes the way that we're going to start over is when I kill every last one of you.
Yeah.
So because of kind of, the actions that happened earlier in the episode and the things that happened with Rick, he blames Rick again for this happening, but now he does kind of feel kind of like how Simon's view was, is that I have to kill all of you now and then it will start over. So
yeah, honestly, I think the reaction that Negan had to that letter was more out of anger, just from losing Carl, because him and Carl, while not having that many scenes or not knowing each other that long, actually had this weird kind of bond.
He did.
And I think that reaction, while maybe some of it was serious, was more of anger coming out of Negan for losing Carl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So all in all, I love those scenes. They kind of, tied themselves together just about the letters, but I thought it was really good. Yeah. So it was really good. So we'll kind of save the primary focus of this episode, the sanctuary, for just a little bit. Yeah. We'll get into some kind of the small things. Let's go with Gregory.
Yeah.
Gregory makes it back to the sanctuary. He's meeting with Simon and kind of letting Simon know, look, I can still be an asset to you. I want to be. Simon at first is just like, you made me look like an asshole.
Yeah.
And Simon's face is just like, either he wants to kill him or just get him out of there.
Well, that's what you thought, because Simon was like, I got to make an example out of you, or I can't just let you go because, that wouldn't look good on me.
Right. Because he says he's the new man now, because to Gregory and still to Simon,
yep.
He does not know that Negan is back yet.
Yeah.
So Gregory's like, oh, you're the man now? Okay. He kind of says, already, he's like, Negan was a character, but he had his flaws. You get things done. You are a leader.
Basically, regular Gregory ass kissing.
Exactly. Exactly. And Simon picks up on that. That's what he says. He's just like, well, if I'm the man, I can't show that I'm being lenient on you.
Yeah.
So he says you have to go. And Gregory takes that as he's going to kick him out. So Gregor gets mad and he's like, do you think that...
Gregory takes that as in he's going to kill him.
No. Gregory thinks that he's going to kick him, like he's making him leave. And that's why Gregory's like, do you think that you can deal with all of your people and the politics? And that's when Gregor gets in Simon's face and he throws him to the ground, that's when Simon says, no, I wasn't going to let you go. I was going to kill you.
Yeah, that's right.
But now...
How about a cup of coffee?
Do you make good coffee? Start with coffee and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
So that was a little quick scene with Gregory doing his normal skeevy things. Let's see. We'll get to Eugene, the first part of Eugene.
Well, we might as well go over all of it, right?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. His is so Eugene is giving his little speech. He's prepping his workers to of course make more bullets.
Yeah,
and to get on the timeline.
Well, more importantly, the order has come down from Simon that Negan is no longer in power and that he's taken over. So we get the first confirmation that word has spread to Eugene's outpost that Simon is at least in charge at this point.
Right, and Eugene mentions that Negan is MIA, so they're just not considered dead, but he's just missing. So he's like, we got to bump up our production. We got to get things done because I don't want Simon to know, or we don't want Simon to know that we're behind on schedule, that we can't get these bullets to them for what they're planning on doing. So we get a quick little thing with him and Father Gabriel. Gabriel is
coughing.
He's coughing and helping out.
And crying.
Eugene tells him to put the mask down. And this is kind of where we get a little bit of confirmation as to what the sickness of Father Gabriel is. It's not from the blood, because Eugene mentions if it was the blood, you would be dying. It's something airborne. So it's kind of similar to how the people in the prison were getting sick. So he mentions like
could be influenza
and something else. So I'm thinking that that's what Father Gabriel had, the blood and guts thing. No, it's, to me, I never truly believed it was from the blood and guts at all, ever, because Negan wasn't sick and everyone else who's tried it didn't get sick. So so we got kind of confirmation there. You know, Father Gabriel doesn't want to help. He's afraid of death again, and he's been broken. He really has.
Yeah. So I should note before we go any further with this Father Gabriel story is that we get an awesome little dish in the outpost of Eugene, and that is sardine mac and cheese.
Oh God.
Disgusting.
With garlic.
With garlic.
Because one of his Negan's wives mentions like, this is a bad choice using garlic or something like that. But mac and cheese and sardines, you know how salty that is?
Ugh. But Eugene's just chowing that shit down.
He's loving it. He took like 6 or 7 spoonfuls of that stuff. Which comes into a little bit later. So Eugene is wanting to go out and test. He mentions to Father Gabriel about how the rounds the primer is not flush; it's sticking out. And what this will do is this will either jam the gun or make it explode. Basically, backfire.
Yeah.
And
so so he immediately goes after Eugene and blames Eugene for purposely trying to rig the ammunition.
You mean Father Gabriel?
Sorry, Father Gabriel, trying to rig the ammunition in a way that would kill the sanctuary soldiers. Immediately Father Gabriel shoots that down and says, I didn't mean to. I'm not trying to kill anyone here. I
just didn't want the guns to work, basically.
Eugene has to go out and test fire those to make sure that those rounds are actually okay. We do want to thank a subscriber of ours, Dolores, right?
Yeah, Dolores. She picked up on this the trailer for episode 15
when it showed a close-up of the primer.
Yeah, she was like, you see how that's not flush? And it's like, oh dang, somebody knows their weapons. But Eugene goes outside, and immediately the guards that are with him, they get killed by Rosita and Daryl. You knew it was Daryl because one of them gets killed by an arrow straight to the dome, and they kidnap him, which was good because at first it seemed like they were going to kill him. Like they were on a mission to kill him, to take him out. Yeah. But they do kidnap him. So they're leading him away. And Eugene is trying to kind of talk with them. He's trying to save face.
But Rosita knows better. I mean, this is a guy that Rosita has known
a long time.
And there's just been too many times where he's been able to manipulate his way out of things. Once being a scientist and knowing the cure to the freaking.
Once it was revealed that he was a fraud, that was it. Basically.
Yeah. So he goes on to tell Rosita, "Look, I was captured by Negan. I thought they were going to kill me, and it turns out that they just needed me to help them, and I felt like if I didn't help or something along the lines of that, I would die."
They gave me a chance to live, basically. So I'm doing my part.
And Daryl gets pissed off and basically threatens him, telling him to shut up or he'll kill him.
And in the end, Rosita kind of gets in his face and says, "Look,
she gets in his face at the mention of Rick." At the because Eugene mentions Rick, that this was all Rick's fault or some shit like that,
right?
And I think that pissed Rosita off.
It did, and she kind of says, "Look, no, this is your doing. You decided to stay on this side." She's like, "Look, we're not going to kill you. We're going to put you in a dark hole and bring you out for when we need something, because all we want is this. That's all we need from you, and you're going to do something." Her line is, "Do something kind of important or constructive with your pathetic life."
Yeah, you're going to do something with your pathetic life.
And Eugene's face, like as they're kind of leading him away again, his face turns like he's getting angry again. We're not angry, but he's like not, because when they're talking to him, he has his normal scared look. Yeah. But after Rosita gets in his face turns to just he's freaking mad.
Yeah, it was a really powerful scene between Rosita and Eugene. One of the most important things that I took away from this was that Rosita just doesn't trust him anymore, and I don't think there's any way for this to turn around for Eugene. Like, after this scene, I asked myself, I'm like, how is this guy going to redeem himself? I just don't see it.
No, and he does get away,
and it sucks because I like his character.
Yeah,
I
really
did like
too.
his character.
Yeah, he does get away because there's some walkers that come up, so Daryl gets distracted. He takes them out, but what he does is he puts his fingers down his throat and throws up that mac and cheese on Rosita, runs away. And yeah, he runs away and he gets back to
the outpost.
To the outpost.
Yeah, the machine.
And he's doubling their efforts, and this is where one of the other people comes back and says Negan is back. He needs this stuff by tomorrow, and he kind of just reassures her that yes, we will get it done, and gives us another pep talk and says, let's go. And they're on the way of making bullets, and he mentions the Father Gabriel again. He's like, look, you either do what I say when I say it, or go sit in the corner and cry. Cry and die, basically.
Yeah, I thought that was in the beginning after he pulled him off. But yes, you're right. He did say cry and die.
Right.
And then he sits down and immediately uses what I thought was pretty clever is he says, now let's make something from our pathetic lives. So basically referencing the line that Rosita had told him, as they were trying to, get him captive. But yeah, it was
really good. It was good. It was good.
It was good. I just hate it.
I just don't know Eugene is, if it comes back that he is just playing his part and he comes back on the side of Rick, wow, that's going to blow my mind. If not, then he's gone.
That's almost what I'm needing at this point from that character, or you can kill him, in my mind.
Yeah.
Either he is magically doing something for Rick all along and was planning this all along, or you know what, you can just go ahead and get rid of that character for me.
Right.
It just serves no purpose for me.
Right. Because he can't do anything more with the bullets. I mean, he's not like, they're making the bullets for him, so it's not like he's putting, a very small amount of gunpowder in there or something. Still, they're making full ammunition.
It surprises me that they even need to pull him aside because, if I'm not mistaken, Rick still has the plans to create and make bullets from season 7 when he handed that to Rick. Now, maybe that was taken off of him when they did the lineup in season 7, but
right.
Yeah, whatever.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's what I was going to mention. So when Rosita and Eugene are having this confrontation, Rosita actually blames all of the death on Eugene.
Yeah, she kind of mentions that it was because of you that they were able to break out of the sanctuary.
Yeah.
And immediately what I said was, nuh-uh, it was Daryl's fault.
Yeah.
Not Eugene's, but yes, Eugene provided ammunition, but that was their already stored ammunition. That wasn't part of Eugene ammunition, but I get what she was referencing to.
Yeah.
But I immediately said, no, that was Daryl's fault. You bastard. No.
So I think the rest of the episode was around the sanctuary then.
Well, we'll throw in something really quick that we both agree that we don't care about.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, is the Oceanside stuff.
Yeah.
We do love Aaron. I love Aaron's character, but
I do too.
Oceanside, it's like
I just would rather see
care.
This is filler for me. So
it's again.
Essentially, Aaron left Enid, or told Enid to leave, and Aaron is in the woods surrounding the Oceanside area. Oceanside is aware that he is there because he's just hanging out there, waiting for his moment to maybe convince them to join this fight.
He's getting weak. He's barely eating, barely drinking water, and he's just surprisingly able to survive because he's so weak right now.
Multiple times they run into him. In his weakened state, he's able to fend off a couple of walkers. And then the final time that they stumble into him again, he basically gives this pep talk, basically saying that Negan is always going to be there.
Negan made you this way.
Yeah.
He made you not trust anybody, to hide, but...
to join the fight.
Yeah. And
Here's my whole thing is like, at this point, like, I don't care about the Oceanside.
Yeah.
Like, they're not that big of a story for me. And if you're going to throw the Oceanside in there at the last episode to save the day, like, so what?
They didn't give any confirmation that they said yes or anything. So if we see the Oceanside in the last episode, we're going to be like, oh, okay. So you decided to join then. So, you know what I mean? It's just it gives nothing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what? Simon's dead, so they're not really going to get redemption on the guy who actually...
Simon's dead?
Oh my god.
It's just funny that we didn't even go over that yet.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. We'll get back to that. Anyway,
yeah.
But
I just think that it serves no purpose to the story other than them joining the war at the last minute, which is the only thing left for them to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, of course, like, it's going to happen, and we're just going to be like, oh, well, we knew it was coming.
Yeah. So,
anyway.
Whatever. We'll move past it, because we'll see what happens in the next episode if they show up or not. So anyway, the rest is just the sanctuary, which was amazing.
It was. So we get Dwight hanging out outside of the sanctuary, having a little smoke break, and all of a sudden we hear it. I do it, but I'm kind of shitty at whistling.
The man returns. Negan comes in, and
Dwighty boy.
He looks so surprised, and each time, Dwight did say, he kind of said it was Simon. Simon said, you were dead. Simon said that you were dead. And without knowing, watching the episode and knowing to the end, but when you watch it a second time, Negan,
you clearly pick up on what's going on. Now,
Negan knows.
Let's just say it. It turns out Negan knows everything.
Negan knows everything.
And I said in the predictions video, I said that Negan wasn't really the type to come up with a master plan. He wasn't like really, I don't want to say intelligent, because he is intelligent. I just think that he's not one to like throw in these double crossing plans. Mm-hmm. And it turns out I was wrong.
He does.
He's pretty slick and crafty.
Right. And so, I mean, he knows, so we'll just basically give the whole thing and we'll jump around. The reason he knows everything is, he already knows about Simon killing the Heapsters. He knows about Dwight because he picked up Laura.
Yep.
We thought, now there was a mention before where, Negan has a quick pep talk with Dwight, and he mentions about Sherry.
Well, let's go into the whole storyline. So Negan obviously returns, talks to Dwight first. Then they have a meeting about, then there's the meeting with Simon. Mm-hmm. So obviously the first person to run into Negan is Dwight. The second person is Simon, and we cut to a meeting room of basically Simon pleading, this was my doing.
The Hilltop.
I screwed up the Hilltop invasion. Right. I'm the one that went from infected to annihilation. Mm-hmm. Give me another chance. I'll make it right.
Right. And we get kind of a backstory of the Sanctuary. So Negan actually took the Sanctuary with Simon. So Simon has actually been there from the beginning.
Yep.
And Negan wasn't sure if he wanted to keep Simon on board because he killed all of the men and boys at that community, which is Oceanside. So we got confirmation that it was Simon.
Yep. And Negan, you could just tell he's disgusted by it because he tells Simon that's some psychotic shit.
Right.
And I knew then, basically you were a psychopath, but I decided to make you my number two.
To keep an eye on you,
keep an eye on you.
So he asked Simon to get on his knees, and
I'm going to need you to get on your knees.
I need you to get on your knees. And he actually says, no, you're not making a move. And Simon's like, there's no moves to make. And right then, you probably thought that Simon was about to get a taste of Lucille to the back of the head. Nope. Negan's just like, all's forgiven.
All
We're good.
is forgiven.
Stand up. And then this is where we get another part of his master plan, the map. And we did a video recently on whether, whether Dwight would get the map back to Rick and them, or if this was a setup.
Yep.
And
so here's the plan. Crews are going to surround the Hilltop, and those are the X's. And basically what their plan is to do is to kind of flush people out of the Hilltop and snipe them off as they come out.
One at a time.
Yep.
That was pretty much the whole plan. we find out later that that was just a plan doesn't exist.
Well, the first thing that happens is we cut to Dwight in his room alone, and he is from memory mapping out the plan exactly how it was drawn out in the war room meeting with Negan and the rest of the crew. But in barges in Simon, and Simon is just kind of, he's almost in panic mode. He realizes Negan is back. He almost died in the meeting, and he's wanting reassurance from Dwight that Dwight's on his side, but furthermore, he wants to enact a plan, and it's kind of like a Julius Caesar type of plan. They're going to lure Negan out into the yard, and whoever is on this team with Simon and Dwight, they're going to do it together.
Right. And he offers Dwight, if he wants to kill, he says not to use a knife because that's too personal. Maybe a silencer. That'd be easy, right?
Yeah. And even when they get to the yard, it's funny because Simon's given the pep talk to the people that are around, the other saviors that are around.
Right.
And he says, well, we're going to do this real quick, because it's respectful, and the man deserves it.
Right. So after their meeting, or they get everybody outside, Dwight's in the courtyard, and what's interesting about this scene as well is that Negan asked Dwight to help him move this dumpster
when they first met.
And so we thought, why is he moving this dumpster? So as Simon is giving his speech, he asked Dwight, so are you ready to go? And I did Dwight start whistling too?
No.
Because it seemed like his mouth went together, so I thought like Dwight started whistling.
No, I didn't pick up that Dwight was listening.
But, no, whistling, yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, Negan steps back from around the dumpster, which he was hiding behind. That's why he moved the dumpster to the spot. And basically, Dwight gave the word to Negan that this was going down.
Dwight gave up,
and he sold out
Simon and the rest of
Simon. And Negan is just like,
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. They kill all the saviors that were around them. Gregory was there as well. They didn't kill Gregory. But Simon is very pissed off that, Dwight sold him out. But Negan, this is where Negan mentions to Simon, I kind of knew this all along, but, you killed all the garbage people when I specifically told you not to.
Yep.
And he does give Simon a chance. He's like, look, if you want to take over, then you got to beat the man.
You want to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Right. And so we get a freaking Fight Club-esque Negan and Simon brawl.
Yeah.
This is not the man to prosecute this conflict. Just wanted to say, a grateful enclave. Thanks you.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
Well, you know what's funny though is right when we cut to the scene, right after he said, "You want to be the man, you got to beat the man." They cut to Negan in a silhouette. I swear to God, I thought it was going to pan down to a ping pong table.
Right. That would have been hilarious.
I honestly thought that it was going to come down to that because, as we know from the comics, he's a gym teacher and he likes ping pong. And there's been a couple of shots of them playing ping pong in the sanctuary.
Yeah. And
dude, I honestly, I was like, yes, ping pong.
That never crossed my mind.
I don't know why. And honestly, it wouldn't have fit in any way.
Right.
But they have a fight. They battle it out.
They brawl. It's a pretty good fight. I mean, we know who's going to win in the end. It is Negan. He actually choked Simon to death. As he's choking him, he's basically saying, "Look, you did this because of your actions. I now have to take out everyone at the hilltop." Because Negan's plan before was not to do that, but because of Simon's actions and because he's so enraged that he was double crossed by one of these, his own men, he now has to change course and just take them all out.
Yeah. This is where Dwight takes, while the fight's going on, prior to Negan killing Simon, this is where Dwight takes the opportunity to pick the wrong person, but chooses Gregory and tells him, "Get out of here," gives him the map, detailed plans, which says, 10-man crew, 11-man crews at here, kill Negan, kill everyone.
Right. End it.
End this.
Right.
End Negan. End everyone. End of this.
Right.
And that letter actually does make it to Rick and the Hilltop. Gregory does give that to Rick and Michonne and crew, Maggie.
Which they throw him back in the jail at Hilltop. But they just kind of look at the map, and Maggie says, what are we going to do? And that kind of ends that scene. So, to them, it's Dwight helping them out. It's real. So after Negan chokes out Simon, they actually keep Simon, they make Simon turn to a walker, and I think he is one of the greatest walkers I've ever seen.
I do too. It was probably one of the coolest zombie reanimations that I have seen on the show, the entire show, because it was a different personality.
Yeah.
And if you had watched The Talking Dead after the Walking Dead had premiered, they said that and they agreed, but most importantly, I forgot her name, but she was the Walking Dead's biggest fan this year, had said that it was one of the first times that a walker had reanimated that still held the attributes of the person it was before. So you saw Simon kind of jarring and stuff.
Like, really fast. But what I loved, the camera wasn't focused on him. He was kind of blurry because they were focusing on Negan in the background as he was listening to Michonne reading Carl's letter. But you could see, like you said, it still had the same personality. Yeah, it
had like a Simon personality to it, and that was just like not wanting to give up, very loud, animated, and it was awesome.
It was pretty sweet.
One of the coolest zombies I've seen in a while.
It was awesome. It was sweet. All right, so after the fight, Negan is kind of escorting Dwight back to his room. He says, good for you. A position just opened up. Would you like to be my right-hand man? Dwight, kind of very happily says, yes, I will. And Negan kind of says, or actually Dwight says, I'm going to help you finish things with Rick. And Negan says, well, that's a good thing because you actually already have. Door opens up. Or actually, Dwight goes into his room, opens the door. Yeah, there's Laura sitting right on the couch.
And you mentioned this, that it was weird that Negan was escorting him to his room. And what do you know? Laura's sitting there on the couch. Furthermore, as they kind of get nestled into the room, the rest of the Saviors are waiting outside.
Yeah.
So they have him completely surrounded.
Right.
Laura gets up and says, you turned your back on me. You betrayed us. You killed us. And I ran away. I made it. And the only thing that was on my mind, the only reason why I survived was to see your face right now.
To expose you who you are. And this is where we find out from Negan that the map that he drew up in the war room was a fake ass plan. Because he knew that Dwight would get that plan back to Rick and crew. Now, he thought Dwight would actually leave the sanctuary and do it himself. But he's like, no, you had Gregory do that for you, didn't you? You have a little errand boy.
Yeah.
So this whole freaking time, Negan knew everything and was toying with them until the right moment to strike.
And I said in the predictions video that he had to choose his battles wisely because it was either Simon or Dwight at that point. Because I didn't think he was just that vindictive enough to play both sides. Like, I know he's a smart guy, but geez, like this was
it was brutal.
Yeah.
So Negan does tell Dwight that he's not going to kill him, that he has plans for him.
Yep.
What those plans are, we don't know, but I'm sure he's going to be locked in a hole somewhere.
Yep.
So I think that's it.
Yeah, that was
that's pretty much it. Great episode. If you guys, I know we were hoping for maybe pre-battle stuff, but we knew that the true battle is not going to be till the final episode. Yeah. So this is good, kind of a lead information to kind of tie up some loose ends on some things and get prepared.
Yeah, so, I can't wait.
We're prepared.
Yeah, Sunday, guys, the finale, the premiere of Fear the Walking Dead. It is going to be a long, awesome, amazing night. Can't wait.
It is. So let us know your thoughts of this episode. What did you enjoy? What did you hate? Did you care about Oceanside? Did you really like or hate Eugene? Do you think there's any redemption for Eugene at this point? Well, actually, do you also believe that from Rick reading Carl's letter, do you believe that Negan will get his comic book due that Rick will not kill Negan, or do you think they're going to completely change course and kill Negan?
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Let us know your thoughts, especially Eugene, too. Is he redeemable?
Yeah, exactly. So, we are done. Stay tuned for our final episode review of The Walking Dead Season 8. It's been a long road, guys.
Yes.
We appreciate all the comments and support on this, and we're loving that you guys are Walking Dead fans too, so you can appreciate this, because we love it. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. We're NocBro Nation.
We're out.